This is the 2025 Honda Odyssey EX-L. Is it the most versatile minivan? Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. Today I'm at Holmes Honda, and this is our first look at the EX-L trim level for the 25 Odyssey. And there is one major change here that I haven't shown you before on any other Odyssey videos for the 2025 model year, and that is the exterior color of smoke blue pearl. Now I'm getting started a little early today, so the sun isn't quite up over the tree line just yet, but you'll get a better look at this color later in the video. If you want to know more about this model, check out the link down in the description of the video. And something else that's going to be a little different is going to be what we have right here, the gray interior. So for those of you who are saying, you know, Tom, I really want to buy an Odyssey. We need something bigger, something more versatile than what we've had in the past, but you don't want a black interior. Well, here is a great option for you. Here on the front end, we will find some changes. The grille has changed a little bit, and the surround on the fog lights down there and those blinkers has also changed. It's a little bit wider, a little bit of a different look from what we've seen in the past. You're still going to have the LED headlights, the LED daytime running lights, and those LED fog lights. And you'll have Honda sensing for your safety features, which will include adaptive cruise control, collision mitigation braking, lane keeping assist, and road departure mitigation. You won't have traffic jam assist. You hear me talk about that a lot on my other Honda videos, but that's not here yet. We'll have to see what comes in the future. Front wheel drive, and how about your tire and wheel size? 235 on your width, 60 on your sidewall size, and 18-inch wheels. You have a spare tire. You're going to have the body colored mirror caps with your turn signal indicators built into the heated side view mirrors. Now you don't see your blind spot monitoring in the side view mirrors because it's still located right here. A lot of the Honda models now have that built into the mirrors themselves, but that's not going to be the case here, at least not for 2025. And another change will be the look of the remote for the new model year. Now you'll see everything still remains in the same place as far as lock, unlock, your buttons for your power sliding side doors and everything else that you'll have there, remote start, and you're going to have your panic button right there, and you can open and close your power tailgate as well. We'll finish things off here with a little bit of a different look on the rear. We will still have our LED tail lights, but you're going to notice your reflectors down here are in a different position. Believe it or not, that actually comes from the Acura NSX supercar, the second generation. Something that's interesting. I don't think that's Honda's way of telling us that we can expect more horsepower and torque in the future, but you never know. Maybe not quite as much as what the NSX has, at least. But we'll have to wait and see what comes for the 2026 model year. But this is what we have for 2025, and that's not all the changes we have. Now you won't have any changes under the hood, but I'm going to tell you about what's there just in case you don't already know. And under the hood is the 3.5 liter Honda V6, 280 horsepower, 262 pounds-feet of torque. It is a naturally aspirated engine, so if you don't like turbochargers, this is still something you can consider. That's all mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission. And let's take a look at our MPGs here. I don't know how well you can see it with the glare, but I'll do my best. 19 city, 28 highway, 22 combined, and 4.5 gallons of gas per every 100 miles driven. And if you've always wondered in these car review or vehicle review videos what the gas tank size is, I do try to give that to you. In this case, it's 19.5 gallons. Your towing capacity comes in at a max of 3,500 pounds. That's one of the things about having front wheel drive. Maybe we'll see that change in the future. Tell Honda what you would like to see where that is concerned. Now you will find your versatility to really start showing up here in the interior because there's so much you can do. First of all, we will find our 12-volt power outlet right here. We have our storage on one side, on the right-hand side there, and the upper and the lower storage areas over here on the left. Now, what can you put in the storage area on the right? Well, you can stick the license plate bracket in there and get that out of the way. At least that's what I'm going to do. Because here's something that I like. While you have the stowing magic rear seats when they're in their upright position. You can use this area down here where they stow for whatever you can have fit that needs to fit right there. So again, that versatility that comes in is very useful in a multitude of ways. Let's see if I can get everything out of the way here. This is a little hard to do one-handed, but if I can do it one-handed, it's much easier to do two-handed. But you can see we can fold these seats down completely flat. That helps out, but that's not all you can do. You can actually remove all 3 middle row seats. And depending on how you configure things, you're looking at 32.8 up to 140.7 cubic feet of cargo space. If you need to change the height of the tailgate back here, then you can just move it wherever you want it to. In fact, I'll just move it down here. You can see the button right here above the button. It says hold to set height. So you hold that down and you listen for those beeps. And now what you'll find out is when I open that door back up, or the tailgate back up, you're going to see that it goes to that position where I just set it. So depending on your situation, maybe you open it and it's not as high as you want it to be. You want to maximize the height, we'll just push it up as far as it will go, hold the button down again, and you're ready. And yes, I'm going to show you what everything looks like with our cargo space maximized. One question I know I've received in the past, I'll answer it right now. Can you remove everything right there that you would set the seats on top of for that middle row? Well, I guess you could go to the trouble to unbolt things and get all of that out of the way, but it wouldn't make the floor completely flat, so it's really not worth messing with as far as that's concerned. So here's how everything looks when you maximize your cargo capacity. That's one of the things that makes the Odyssey so potentially versatile, not only for hauling whatever things will fit, cargo, furniture, Christmas presents, I don't know, whatever the case is, but you could also outfit this area potentially to use as a work van, depending on what your situation is. There's definitely some versatility built in here, and that's not where it stops. You also have the magic sliding middle row seats right here. All you're going to do is grab this area right here. You can see the handle, and we can push the seats back and forth like this. Kind of an interesting thing. And you might say, well, what am I going to do with that, Tom? Well, I guess that's completely up to you, but it does give you some options depending on what you need to do. Now, one important note here is that number one, you will have to have the middle seat removed, and only the outboard seats will slide back and forth. And here's that better view of the smoke blue pearl exterior color I promised earlier, with a little more sunlight on it to show you how it looks. As is going to be the case with the last several years, no changes where this is concerned. You still pull on the handle right there. That's one of the multiple ways you can use to open and close the power sliding side doors, and that reveals the middle row seats. I've set things up so you can see that these seats do move forward quite a bit. They also move back, obviously, and there is a lever underneath the seat right here that allows that to happen. So depending on what's happening with third row passengers, you can increase or decrease the leg space depending on what they need. We're going to pull on that lever and push the seat up and out of the way. Makes things nice and simple as far as gaining access to this third row. And there's a surprising amount of leg space. Look at that. I have quite a bit, even with the seat all the way back. So that is a good thing. Now, we won't find USB connectivity back here, but this is the EX-L trim level. Remember that. So depending on what you want, well, that'll determine what trim level you go with. We'll find cup holders and air conditioning vents right here. There is connectivity back here, just not in the way of 12-volt power outlets. There is a USB. There is a 12-volt power outlet, but no USB connectivity. And a little bit of storage here on the rear of these seats in the way of seat pockets, upper seat pockets. We'll say the seat pockets on the middle row or front row seats up there are lower seat pockets, I guess, if we wanted to put it that way. Also have some lighting right here if your passengers need that, and the air conditioning vents. And one more thing that I know a lot of people ask about, do these rear seats recline? You can see right here that yes, they do. And I hope this view does justice to the recline that is built into these middle row seats. I have these seat over there on the driver's side in the upright position and reclined the seat here on the passenger side all the way back. And while you don't have a tall vehicle, it is nice to have that grab handle to get in. And here's another way to open and or close these power sliding side doors. So nice to have that there. Also have the built-in shades, privacy shades that can be put in place. And if we push the button right here, we can bring the window down. Now, it doesn't go all the way down, but you can see where it goes right there. We'll also have our cup holders right here and the space for whatever will fit right there. This seat will go up into an upright position, and you do that by pulling on this release. I can't put it up one-handed, but let's see how talented I am. Well, there we go. I can kind of MacGyver my way into that a little bit. But you can see that that reclines as well. So pretty easy to set things up here. More cup holders, and as far as connectivity goes, if you're wondering, a couple of USB options. And last but not least, we have the sunroof up there. It is conventional size, and I lied. That's not last but not least. But here is what we'll look at. Again, some lighting right here and the controls for the third zone of climate control. So if anybody wants to deal with that, change the temperature of the fan speed, there that is. When somebody drops, the driver drops the hammer on 280 horsepower, somebody can grab that old crap handle if it scares the mess out of them. Boy, that would be interesting if you're scared of 280 horsepower, but you never know. Versatility is obviously important when it comes to something such as this Odyssey, but if the price isn't right, it doesn't really matter how versatile it is to begin with. In this case, we're looking at $43,315. What do you think about that? We're going to have power adjustable seats for the driver and the passenger. Very comfortable, by the way. They're heated, and they also have lumbar support. Those are things that I know a lot of you are looking for. I do wish they were ventilated, but not in this case. And there we go with our upper and lower door bins. A little more space there where that's concerned, and all of the typical controls here for your side view mirrors, your windows, door locks, all that stuff. And you might have noticed earlier in the video, I didn't talk about these side view mirrors being power folding. They're power adjustable, but if you want to fold them, you'll have to do that manually. Not a big deal, but that's just the way it is on this particular trim level. And you can control whether or not your side doors are open, your power sliding side doors, as well as your power tailgate back there. If you want to attempt a front wheel drive burnout, make sure you turn traction control off first. That will make that a lot easier. Your power parking brake is here, as well as your brake hold mode. If you want to use brake hold, I don't know if that's a mode. Brake hold, the option. Maybe that's a little better way to put that. And the lever right here, you drop that lever to adjust the positioning of the tilt and telescopically adjustable steering wheel. And if you're feeling really sporty, you can use these shifter paddles to work your way back and forth through that 10-speed automatic transmission. Over here on the left-hand side of the steering wheel, you'll control everything with your front and rear lights, your headlights and your tail lights, and your fog lights right here. And there's one other feature that this also offers. Now, some of you might know what happens when you push that lever into the up and down positions. I know some of you don't, because I drive around you on a regular basis. But I can't say anything like that about this lever, because you tend to use your front and rear window wipers. Now, one of the changes, one of the many changes we see here in the front seat area is going to be the new digital instrument display, the driver's display. A very nice look. It looks more conventional, at least in my opinion, than what we had in the past. And you can push the home button right there to get to the screen I just did over there on the left-hand side, and use that scroll wheel to work your way through. You can push on the scroll wheel if you need to know which direction you're going. So there's a lot there. To go back, you just hit the home button again, this button, there's your scroll wheel, and you can push on that depending on what you need to do. Steering wheel mounted controls, I think they're pretty self-explanatory. Over here you have everything for your adaptive cruise control. And another big change, this is going to be standard, by the way. Not only is that instrument display, the 7-inch instrument display, standard, but so is the 9-inch touchscreen. So this is new for 2025, and you can see that you have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. You pair your phone wirelessly. That's easy to deal with. You really don't even need me to show you a lot of this stuff, because I think it's so simple you can use the hunt and peck method to figure out your way around. But depending on what you need to do, you can come in here and find different settings. If your power tailgate is not opening, come right here to power open by handle, and make sure that that is turned on. Now, if the battery dies, you can still open it. You'll just have to push the button and that will release everything so you can open it manually, but hopefully you don't have to deal with that. Wireless connectivity for your cell phone. You can see some of your one-touch buttons here, including everything for, or I should say everything for the air conditioning. Nice that it's all still here and it's all physical controls. Dual zone climate control, that's nice. We haven't gone to any kind of everything being in the screen. I don't know if Honda will do that or not. Hopefully not. I don't like that. I like it when we still have physical controls. What about the push button shifter? Do you like that? Do you not? Would you like to maybe see a shifter up here or something along those lines? Tell me what your thoughts are on the matter. Turning the heated seats on, pretty easy to deal with. You just choose one of the multiple stages there. If you want to turn the auto stop or idle stop on or off, there's how you do that. Snow mode, econ mode, you have drive and sport, depending on what you want to do there. It's all easy to deal with. A lot of space being used that I think is a wise decision. Some vehicles, this is all taken up by the center console. I like the open space right here with the pass-through. Plenty of space there, a lot of extra space. And we also have our 12-volt power outlet and a couple of USB options. Now, we haven't seen a change necessarily in the overall design of the center console. You still have what I think of as a garage door style lid right there, but no big deal. Plenty of space in there, but what has changed is you're going to have the wireless charging pad on all trim levels. So for those of you who are looking for that, well, there you go. So it doesn't matter if you go with the lowest or the highest trim level, that's what you're going to have. And you'll also have the conversation mirror that doubles as a sunglass holder. Or is it a sunglass holder that doubles as a conversation mirror? Not quite sure about that. Just something to have a little fun with. And last but not least, we have our map lights, our reading lights there, whichever you want to call those, the control for your sunroof. And obviously you have a manual shade right there. Easy to deal with. I'm always curious to know what your thoughts are. Do you want to see Honda add a rear sunroof? The only reason you won't see a full panoramic sunroof is if you go with the Elite trim level, you'll have the entertainment system right here. So we wouldn't be able to have the entire area as a panoramic sunroof, but there is definitely room for a rear sunroof back there if that's something you might want. In the future, tell Honda about it. And let's talk about driving the Odyssey. What is the experience like? Well, I do have some limitations on what I can tell you about, and that's where some of you come in who own an Odyssey. A 24, 25 really doesn't matter because there haven't been a lot of changes in the last few years, especially with the powertrain. So tell us down in the comments section, what is it like to drive your Odyssey if you've done any towing or if you've had a full load of passengers or some cargo, something that has maybe increased the weight that you're driving with. What has that done? Now, as far as just having my almighty 175 pounds here in the interior, well, it seems to get down the road with absolutely no problem. Plenty of get up and go, so I have to assume that it's going to do just fine in just about all situations. Comfort is definitely not a problem here. The comfortable interior will definitely suit everybody, but then again, I am a little limited on my ability to tell you what everything is like beyond just sitting here in the front seat area. But these front seats are comfortable, and I must say, a common question I get a lot is, how well is somebody who's over 6 feet tall going to fit in the vehicle that I'm driving? Now, in the Odyssey, it probably goes without saying that you really don't need to concern yourself with that. You would have to be really, really tall, maybe 6'5" or 6'6" before that even becomes an issue. There is a lot of space here. I feel very comfortable, very roomy, and I like the fact that everything is very easy to get to. You don't have to worry about having to reach really far to get to anything as far as the infotainment screen goes or anything like that. A very roomy interior and very simplistic controls. The technology with the Odyssey, while you have a larger screen now standard, the technology is still just as easy as it has always been. That's never really been an issue in all the years that I've been driving these vehicles and telling you about them from Honda. easy to use technology. I know there's some people out there, probably a lot of you, who still haven't had, say, an infotainment screen and things like that, or been able to pair your smartphone to your vehicle or something like that. Don't let that scare you off. Very easy to deal with as far as the Odyssey goes. And as I said, very versatile. One thing I didn't talk about earlier in the video as far as versatility goes is, well, it's a great family hauler. So if you're going on a long vacation, depending on how big your family is, will determine obviously how much space you have, but you do have all of that extra cargo space available back there, and depending on how many people you have, well, will determine how much space you have for luggage and things like that. But I don't think that's going to be a problem as far as that goes, because there is ample space here, that's for sure. And we'll get a little bit of an acceleration test here, not much, but a little bit. Get up to the speed limit here as best as we can. Yeah, not a problem, not at all. Now I'm gonna let you listen for a second. Now, I don't know how well my microphone picked up everything right there. That's a really rough stretch of road we just drove over, plus the railroad tracks. So for those of you who maybe wanted some kind of a sound bite of what the road noise sounds like, well, that's the best I can do for you. I don't know how well my microphone picked it up. In my estimation, I don't think it's too bad. It is as quiet as I can have it here without the fan speed on the air conditioner turned way up. The radio isn't on, and I don't have anyone to talk to. That's one reason why it's always best for you to drive these vehicles for yourself. So tell me what you think about the 2025 Honda Odyssey EX-L. Is it the most versatile minivan? Tell me what your thoughts are. I do want to say a special thanks to my friends here at Holmes Honda for loaning me this Odyssey for the day. If you want to know more, remember, check out that link down in the description of the video. I also want to say a special thanks to all of you for being kind enough to take the time to watch and give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the like button. That helps me out a lot. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. And if you would like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and I'll see you there.